I'm just going to start recording now. I'm going to say a few things. This is the Native American video documentation team. Dorothy Davids and Joe Fisher was on my first assignment to confusing.
You're on now.
Okay, let me get this in focus now.
See, I got some of my stuff on here already.
I'm gonna let it run for a minute here. Okay.
My name is Rachel Craig. I'm from Kotzebue and working for the Nano Regional Corporation. My assignment has been in the Cultural Heritage Preservation Program, which we instigated from the work that I've been doing. With me is a map of Alaska, and in December 1971, Congress passed an act titled Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act. And in that act, it created 12 corporations, divided Alaska in 12 corporations, with a 13th one to be created in the states if the non-resident Alaskans so wished. Now, ours is within this area here, our Nano Regional Corporation. All the shareholders are Eskimo, what we call the Inupiaq Eskimo of the Northwest. We have 11 villages which are members of Nano Regional Corporation. From the north side, there's Kivalina, Notak, Norvik, Kayana, Selwick, Ambler, Shungnak, and Kobuk, Buckland, Deering, and Kotzebue as the central point, the regional headquarters. For the first time in locating all of our cemetery sites and historical places, according to Section 14H of the Act, our people have started to record our ancient history, which was handed down from generation to generation by word of mouth in their storytelling during the winter times. And as I would come back from each village and report to the staff my findings of the important people in those grave sites and the historical places, the things that they did, the staff got excited, the board got excited, and eventually we got a grant from the bicentennial funds and had a workshop with our elders in the region, and they all gathered in Kotzebue here to expand on the information that I got in my assignment in locating the cemetery sites and historical places for land selection purposes. All of our people are excited about the project. For a couple generations, we've been going to school to other areas and not learning our history. In fact, the dominant culture that we began to live under discouraged it, and so we were mostly learning to read and write and the Western history and so forth. And now that we're bringing this back, our people are really interested, and our old folks who are our source of information have cooperated just, more than 100% to give whatever information that they knew, that they heard from their parents and their grandparents, which their parents heard from their parents and grandparents. And so, finally, we're beginning to feel close again, like our ancestors used to be. We depend on each other. These people from the inland areas usually come out here in the Kotzebue Sound area and do their hunting, and seal hunting mainly, because the seal meat and seal oil in particular, and the skins and rawhide were important to their economy in the inland also. And if we don't produce very much seal oil, then they are forced to do more bear hunting because they need the oil in their diet, the bear grease. So in our meeting with our elders, they talked about the type of hunting that they did on the Sound as well as on the land. And they said that this Kotzebue Sound in here, Kotzebue Sound area, has served for more generations than they know as a food storage for the regional area. We traded with the inland people for their furs and for their dried fish, and in turn they got our seafood, the beluga muktuk, the ugruk, the seal, and everything that we produce from it, like the dried meat, the blubber, seal oil. Everybody has to have oil in their diet. That's why you have so many kinds of cooking oil and margarine and butter and mayonnaise and all that stuff. And because we use the stuff off of our land, we use a lot of seal oil, and they also produce a lot of fish oil in these areas from the fish that they catch. Fish are cooked, and then when the fat rises, then it's skimmed and preserved. All of us basically speak the same language, except with each village with minor variations. When we had our workshop, even our old folks said, "Gee, we didn't know you folks lived like that out here." And some of our people from the coast said, "Gee, we didn't know they were such good people up there." So for both sides, for all of our people, it was getting reacquainted that their ancestors had done before. And this is good for us. Of course, we have the other Bering Straits Eskimos on this side, which also speak some of our language with marked differences in others, and then the Southwest, who speaks an entirely different language. The North Slope is another group of Eskimo that speaks the same language that we do, but like I said, with minor variations in each village. So in this area, we still depend on our fishing of streams, of lakes, of the Sound, hunting seals and ugruks out on the Sound, and also hunting caribou out on the tundra, in addition to starting a reindeer herd to supplement what we have. We still hunt ptarmigan, muskrat, rabbit. We still live off the land. We'll have to break.
Yeah, it's ready.
At the starting point again. All of our subsistence hunting is done in season. Now, like in the fall time, it's a caribou season, hunting season, and when they're migrating south from the slope. And at the same time, we're fishing for sheefish, even tomcods out in the Sound, ice fishing. And then in the winter is a slack time, and this is when traditionally our people told their stories and did their sewing and so forth. And then in the springtime comes a seal hunting season again, and then when it warms up and the snow and the ice are melting, then the duck hunting season. In addition to gathering of eggs, and then as the summer wears on and the berries ripen, well, just before that, then we pick the greens, the green leaves from a certain type of willow, which we either freeze now or preserve in seal oil. Then there's also the sourdock, the wild rhubarb, and among the berries we have the blackberries, the blueberries, salmon berries, cranberries, and up in the Kobuk they have a certain type of berry called a timnik berry that we find only in that area, in the Kobuk area. These are used in various ways that we could go all day on and talk about, a variety of ways. But our season, our hunting season, our gathering season is always whatever is in season. And so we depend a lot on the type of weather and the growing season. And like I said earlier, if we don't get very much seal on this area, this forces our people up here to hunt for more bear to supplement their diet. And so if this area doesn't produce much berries, this area might. And so there is an exchange, and people know each other from different areas and trade whatever they have. And even in my family, some of the traditions where my grandparents had trading partners from other areas, we still honor that association. And in my aunt and my mother's generation, she's also still following that tradition with trading with those people. And hopefully those of us of our generation will find out who their children are, and then we can supply each other with whatever we have from our area. So this is the way we are. It's not nobody anything for himself, or didn't used to be, but Kotzebue is getting so big now that a lot of times we don't know who's coming and who's going or who's got what. But still, they share whatever they have, give it away, or if people walk there and then they just pick up their share. So our life is really one of subsistence yet, even though we do have our stores. We're used to having fried eggs and bacon and all this other type of food. And still, it is necessary for the majority of our people to still live in this manner. But I would like to stress that for the first time, the history of our people is being recorded on tape, on videotape, in Eskimo, and being translated by some of us who speak both of the languages. So in time, in a short time hopefully, we will have this information in our school system and teach it through their history, through their languages, through their social sciences, and learning the basic language again, which a lot of our kids don't speak today or even understand. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, and I feel fortunate that I did learn both languages as a child because I was raised by my grandparents. A lot of the people wish they were just as fortunate, but hopefully through the use of this material that we are gathering, again, they will learn their history, will know their identity, and will walk proudly in their generation to hand it down to the next generation. Thank you.
I think we're already here.
Okay, it's going now.
Okay?
Yeah.
While this boundary is Nana Regional boundaries, it's kind of a governing body only. This is not to say that all of the land will be ours. Just the small sections within the region, these pink and the white areas, will eventually become ours when the title is turned over to us. The rest of it has become federal and state lands, will be becoming federal and state lands. Years ago, the land used to be ours through Aboriginal use, but the land claims gave us just a very small portion, where we have just a little here, a little there, a little there, a little there. But we still need areas out this way for hunting, out this way. We cooperate with the other corporations on boundaries, but we're negotiating with the federal government on management of the land, because we still, with our type of subsistence living, we still need all this land this way for our subsistence living. So don't let the boundaries fool you. Those are just political boundaries, but the land ownership has shrunk very small for the native.
Why don't you go to the post office and just ask, come to look through the banana mail and tell me, think you got a letter coming in. And tell me, yeah, just tell me it's just temporary here. You think you got this? They'll give it to you. No, no, the girls will pay for it. starting off a problem with me and people going there. With her. That's what Johnny told us to go. Yeah. Shit, I need you guys out here. Let's do it today. What time do you guys can come back? It won't take us too long. Is your plane ready now? No. Remember, okay. As soon as you come back, come right to the office. I've got to get things organized for the group to go tonight at 6. So I need your help in it too. Okay. You and I will, I think you and I will stay home tonight. Yeah. And then you and I will go in the morning. Let these guys go down there.
I'm just going to start recording now. I'm going to say a few things. This is the Native American video documentation team. Dorothy Davids and Joe Fisher was on my first assignment to confusing Alaska.
You're on now.
Okay, let me get this in focus now.
See, I got some of my stuff on here already.
Gonna let it run for a minute here. Okay.
My name is Rachel Craig. I'm from Kotzebue and working for the Nana Regional Corporation. My assignment has been in the Cultural Heritage Preservation Program, which we instigated from the work that I've been doing. With me is a map of Alaska, and in December 1971, Congress passed an act titled Alaska Native Claim Settlement Act. And in that act, it created 12 corporations, divided Alaska in 12 corporations, with a 13th one to be created in the states if the non-resident Alaskans so wished. Now, ours is within this area here, our Nana Regional Corporation. All the shareholders are Eskimo, what we call the Inupiaq Eskimo